The economic crisis that happened in Venezuela was one of the biggest components in driving migration out of Venezuela. And Tren de Aragua was a prison organization that was in Tocorón prison, and they used a lot of human trafficking of women in Venezuela into the prison. So once they expanded outside of the prison setting, they began to expand those human trafficking networks. And so human trafficking and extortion became a critical component in their expansion following migration out of Venezuela. The violence is one of the key components of how Tren de Aragua was able to spread so rapidly and efficiently, so quickly throughout Latin America. They've been compared to Pablo Escobar's Medellin cartel in how they use violence to incite fear, intimidate others, and gain territory. But they have a different structure. They're decentralized. After they've expanded outside of the prison, it became factions. And these factions allowed for individual, smaller gangs to have presence in multiple countries or in multiple regions of a particular country at a time. Each of these factions is individual and separate, although some of the proceeds, especially for sex trafficking, does go back to the higher ranking leadership. Their members were not only from Venezuela, they were from Chile, they were from Colombia, they were Dominican, and that mix shows that this group is focused on more opportunity rather than la familia, la raza, todo eso. Those are important in understanding why the group is so different. And it affects the migrant community, Venezuelan migrant community, because they're the key preys. They're the number one vulnerable target, not only because are they less likely to report crimes, but also because they're following the pattern. There's a lot of partnerships with the Brazilian PCC, ELN in Colombia. These are just the bigger names. Tren de Aragua is also known for absorbing smaller local gangs. So the smaller ones are the ones most susceptible to being absorbed, and that's probably why membership can be so diverse. But that enables them to learn from the experts of the area. They learn opportunities that are existing, and they find ways to help an exchange of power or an exchange of learning. So the Brazilian PCC learned a little bit more about human trafficking through Tren de Aragua. And while they're not really interested in trafficking, it was a way for them to make money.